So today we're going to be taking a look at thermostat. Thermostat is actually very important to your vehicle's cooling. The way the thermostat works is it pretty much controls the flow of hot water throughout the engine. So as the engine creates power, it creates heat, and heat is definitely not good for your engine. Too much heat causes overheating, blow seals, head gasket, all that not so good stuff. So thermostat needs to be changed. So the question is, when do you change the thermostat, and how do you know when your thermostat is bad? As far as changing the thermostat, my rule of thumb is that anytime you do a major service to your cooling system, it's actually a good idea to change it, or when there's actually a malfunction with the thermostat. In this case, I'm working on the 2011 Honda Pilot, and I'm doing the timing belt, and because doing the timing belt involves removing the water pump, now is the perfect time to change the thermostat. We're going to be draining the coolant anyways, just so we could get the water pump out and not make as big of a mess. And while I'm there, I might as well go ahead and change the thermostat. Now, the water pump and timing belt change interval is about 80 to 100,000 miles, and it may vary depending on vehicles. Some vehicles require it at 60,000 miles, and that's the perfect opportunity to change it. So now the way the thermostat works is that as the engine gets hot, these things are rated for a set temperature. This one is 78 degrees Celsius from Honda. And this one, when it reaches that temperature, it opens up, and as it opens up, it allows the hot water to flow through the radiator, go through the cooling fins, and then the fan helps cool it down along with the wind and air that's coming as you're driving. So that's pretty much how it works in a nutshell. The average lifespan of these things tend to be about 10 years from what I've read. And it's really key to change it, and it's actually not too expensive. This one cost about $20. It's the ASN brand, which is what I highly recommend. If you're going to change it, I definitely recommend going OEM. OEM for Honda is ASN, and yeah, definitely a way to go. I have used aftermarket ones, and the problem with aftermarket ones is that even though they may be rated for the same temperature, I have known them to be off and cause issues as far as cooling performance. And it's really key to make sure that you have the right temperature, because the computer is designed to pick up the temperature reading, whether 78 degrees C or whatever your vehicle is, and when it reaches that temperature, that's when it tells the rest of the components, how much air is going through, how much fuel is going through, and they all have to work together and have the same readings that's set by the computer for the car to run efficiently. A lot of people tend to go with a cooler thermostats, lower opening range, and I don't recommend it. With these computers, you need to run it exactly as it should. How do you know when they're going bad? Well, there's three ways that they typically tend to go bad. Number one, they fail and they stay stuck closed. And when they're closed, the hot coolant doesn't flow through the radiator and you get an overheating issue. That's one way to know. And if you check your hoses are warm, they're not hot, there's no pressure in the hoses. And yeah, so that's one way to know. And then you're stranded on the side of the road. The other way is that they get stuck open, and when they break and they get stuck open, yes, you won't have an overheating issue, but it's going to run cooler. And when it's running cooler, the car is not picking up the correct readings. You get not the correct spark, ignition, all that stuff that kind of works together. And another thing that happens too is on colder days, it takes forever for the vehicle to warm up. You may not get efficient heat on it. So yeah, they do get stuck open as well. And then the third way is that they get partially stuck where you don't have sufficient flow. And those cases I've seen more so that you'll get a check engine light from some newer vehicles where it says insufficient flow or stuck open, stuck closed. I've seen various codes for that. So something definitely to consider on that. Now, just because you're changing this or you have an overheating issue doesn't mean that this is the problem. Sometimes the water pump could go bad and it's not flowing the right amount of flow. So that's one issue. And you even may have a leak. And I always recommend checking to see if you have a leak first before you start hunting this down. But if you don't have a leak, I would definitely start right here. And if this doesn't solve the issue, then the next issue that you might be looking into is a water pump that's failing, or maybe even your fans. So it's a lot of things to consider, but for the most part, this is a good maintenance item and should be changed, as they're pretty easy to change and the price is low cost on them. Now, before getting started, one thing I do recommend that you determine is, are you going to change the antifreeze or are you going to flush out the system? If so, then drain the radiator. Make sure you have a bucket to catch it all. Do you have to drain the radiator? It makes it a little easier, but the thing to keep in mind is that if you're changing this for a problem with overheating issue, and usually the vehicle has a higher mileage, it's probably a good time to change the antifreeze. Now, I have seen these things fail as low as 20 to 30,000 miles. In those cases where the coolant is still good and pretty new, I just go ahead and just top it off. So over here on this 2011 Honda Pilot, the thermostat is located right down here. And let's see if I can get you a better light. It's right down here. And as you can see, you have one hose right over here, and you have this other hose. And you have this other hose that goes into this thermostat pipe that goes right into the part of the engine over here. Typically has 2 bolts, and they come out. These are 10 millimeters, and we're able to pop this right out and change the thermostat. But to get to this, we're going to need a little more room. So what I'm probably going to go ahead and do is, so you can get a better idea, what I'm doing is we're going to remove the air box, which I have 2 10 millimeters right over here. Take out the pipe over here, take out this top of the air box, disconnect these connectors, and I'll probably go ahead and take out this throttle body because I'll be doing a job later on in a different video. And by removing all this, we'll have a lot of room to get into there and go ahead and get access to that thermostat. So let's get started. Let's go ahead and unplug this throttle body connector. All right, and that should be good. Now the throttle body has coolant lines that run through it. I'm not going to disconnect them just yet. I will later on because I do plan on cleaning out this throttle body. But for now, just for the fact that I'm working on this thermostat, we're just going to go ahead and take it out. I believe these are probably 12s, and there's 4, 2 on this side, 2 on that one. And we're going to take them off. What I'm going to go ahead and do is take this one off. It's probably going to leak, so I'm going to go ahead and set my drain pan underneath. Hopefully catch anything that falls and not make too big of a mess. See if that makes it easier. There's another hose right down over here. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen that one. And I guess we'll just have to deal with that. There shouldn't be much, if any, fluid in there because I've already drained it. But sometimes on some vehicles you can get away with it and not have to do it. Found that there. Don't know what that is. Okay. Now hopefully, just maybe, we have our prize. All right. So that's out. Also a good idea, and I already bought one because we're going to be doing some other work with this car. Change this gasket. This one looks kind of weird. I wonder if that's Honda OEM. All right. So now that we've gotten those hose and everything out, we could go ahead and we can get to right down here where there's one bolt over here. There's one bolt on the bottom. I believe there are 10. And once we break those bolts loose, then this will make a little bit of a mess possibly, but we'll be able to get to pop this out and change out the thermostat. All right, so we got our 10 millimeter bolt right there. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a 1/4-inch ratchet, and hopefully I should be able to sneak this in. But of course, that clamp is in the way. All right, let's move this hose, tuck it out over here. Let's do that while it leaks. And let's see if we can get to this bottom one. If we get to this bottom one, then the top it would be easier, primarily because, well, I can't reach the top. think we broke it loose. You guys are probably dancing around all over the place, but it's kind of hard to record this with the camera. It's really not a lot of room. There's one. Try to use a wrench, see if that'll work. It should. Alright, that worked a lot better. Now you could take the clamp off, and that would kind of help you a little bit, but I don't feel the need to take it and remove it, considering that this piece will separate right over here. And once that separates, then we'll have access to the thermostat. So it's a matter of preference, to say the least. Now kind of wiggle this, and there you go. Alright, so we're going to kind of pop this thermostat housing right over there. Now take note of this little check valve right over here. It's on the top. If the check valve is on the top, that's where this needs to go. So make sure you put this thermostat, the new one, in exactly the same way, and you should be good to go. So check valve on the top, facing towards the hood, and that's it. Now these tend to get a little stuck. We could take something to kind of help pry it. Okay. Alright, so I went ahead and just wiped this off. And let's just take a look at it. You take them out. Do not remove the gasket just yet, and just take note of it. If you look, you kind of have like a little indent right over here sticking right up, and that goes with the up arrow, which says up over here, which is the little check valve over here. And inside the engine, over there on the side of the engine, there's a little dent where this kind of sits in. So you want to make sure this is aligned just like this, and the thermostat goes in the engine just the same way. Now, comparison to the new one, they pretty much look exactly the same. Checking the height, they look the same. So let's go ahead, let's pop in our new gasket. In any other vehicle, it's going to be different. Like I said, some have paper gaskets, some use this, but for the most part, it's pretty much the same. We'll go ahead and slide this in just like that. Slide that in just like that. And I want to make sure that this rubber piece right over here matches up with the orientation of the little check valve there. So all right. Once I have that in, just kind of squeeze it in, check the back to make sure everything is kind of seating in. It has a little slit inside of the gasket where the face right over here kind of slits into. But the big key to remember here is to make sure that this and this match up, and that when you put this in, the engine is going in the right way. You can't mess it up because this only goes one way, but if these two are not aligned, then this will be off. All right, everything looks good, so let's go to the engine. Let's put it back in. So back at the engine, just go ahead and check your mating surfaces right over here. Make sure they're clean, make sure they're not pitted or anything like that. If they are dirty, contaminated or anything, just go ahead and take a Scotch pad and just kind of scuff it up a little bit, and that'll usually clean it up. Check for corrosion, of course, anything like that. But for the most part, this one looks good. I'm not worried about that. Same thing with the housing for the thermostat. Check that, make sure everything's good. And it looks pretty good over here. Now, what I always recommend, do not use RTV over here. There's no reason for it. And not to mention, if you glob too much, that's going to get sucked up into your cooling system, and you really don't want that in there. And I have actually seen times where people have done that and it gets stuck in the thermostat and creates an issue. So yeah, definitely do not use RTV over here. Use the rubber gasket. It won't fail if you use a good quality one, and you should be good. So like I talked about earlier, if you see it right over here, it's a little indent right up there. That's where the gasket sits. So we're going to go ahead and just pop that in just like so. Just like that. And if you look, a little ball right over here is sitting up in the same position. We're good to go. That's ready to install. So now we could go ahead and take our housing, which I wedged over here just to kind of get out the way, and we could go ahead and pop that in. Now these have no thread sealer or anything like that because they're not going into any water jackets, so don't put anything in there. Some thermostats, they do have that, and you have to put some pipe sealer on it, thread sealer, whatever they call it. And yeah, this doesn't have it, so we don't have to worry about putting that in. I'm just going to go ahead and get these started, and then we'll tighten them accordingly. I tighten them back and forth until snug, just to kind of let the gasket sit. Gotta remember that this one, we used our wrench for it. Tighten it until snug. You know, don't go crazy. This is aluminum, and if you go too much, you will crack this. So just snug. That feels pretty good. Yep. And the same thing over here. All right, and we're done. So pretty much next what we would do is put everything back together, throttle body, hoses, reconnect the intake, all the wires in the connector, top it off, and that would be it. Once you top it off with fluid, make sure you bleed the coolant system, make sure you get all the air bubbles out, turn the heat on to recirculate. That way it just goes all the way through, and you should be good. Do not go on a road test until you make sure that you have heat coming out your vehicle. If you don't have heat coming out your vehicle, don't road test it or you're going to end up stranded. So hope this video helps. Thanks for watching. We'll see what